They have a developer update for Back 4 Blood that was released yesterday. Now, everything in this developer update has been recently touched in patch notes and in social media posts, but they have expressly, definitively noted what was changed. But if you're already familiar with all the recent patch notes, then most of this information is not going to be helpful to you. But if you're not, stay tuned. I'm going to read off the developer update. So we have, within the past week, we pushed out 2 server patches intended to address issues with special spawning and trauma damage. Please note, if you're playing on offline in training, you will still encounter these issues, as the fix was only applied to our servers. This fix will be applied to offline play in our next downloadable patch, which should be in the near future. They didn't say in the near future, those are my words. So these issues are being investigated, but below are the server-side adjustments we have made so far. So all these changes are already in place. This is basically everything the community that I've heard has been complaining about, including myself, and thought was wrong with the game. So it's really nice to see these changes now in place. I have yet to play, so I don't know how much they would increase, but I'm going to get into all the exact changes now. So first up, we have decreased unintentional repetition of special spawners. Before, if there were specials alive and you started a horde and finished it, there was a high chance they could spawn again unintentionally. This should no longer be the case. Next up, we have increased separation of wandering special spawners, so they shouldn't spawn so close together, so they're less likely to stack. This means non-alerted specials are less likely to spawn close to where the specials first spawn should they do their thing and wander away. Note, wandering specials are those that wander away from their spawn point. Next up, we have increased the average time required for roaming, Reekers, and Stingers to spawn to better address the onslaught of specials. I've noticed you don't see too many Reekers and Stingers as wandering ones, so it seems like all they've done there is really decrease the amount of Reekers and Stingers that will spawn, and that seems to be definitely something that should have been done. Next up, we have decreased the chance of wandering specials spawning in Veteran and Nightmare. So I'm not sure if they're even just further decreasing the wandering specials spawning in Veteran and Nightmare, but that's how it reads to me. Next up, we have reverted trauma damage to the old behavior where 1 temp health would fully block all trauma damage. They go on to say, though it was not the intended behavior, the adjustment that was made drastically increased the difficulty. So now if you have temporary health, you can't take trauma damage while you have that temporary health. You can only take trauma damage if you have no temporary health. So it's going to be very interesting to see if some of these new cards that are coming out are other ways to gain temporary health. It would be really nice to see at least one card to gain for more assault gun classes. Next up, we have just the ending notes for them. They say, we are currently evaluating and making more adjustments to trauma damage to function as originally intended. I kind of like their wording, as originally intended, but just was not the case originally. But anyway. They go on to say, we have additional changes included in the next downloadable patch to further address the issues with the unintended increased difficulty, as well as the pieces of feedback we've read from the community. I love this unintended word. Like, who did your testing? Really? You didn't know? You had to know. But in any case, they go on to say, we will continue to monitor data and constructive feedback to implement additional changes that would improve player experience and address unfair game difficulty. We appreciate everyone's patience as we work on bettering the game with all of you. So it is really nice to see that they did listen to the community. For the most part, every problem listed here is issues that I brought up. They're basically the only issues consistently that I've heard other players brought up that they thought was really wrong with the game. and making basically you needing all the cards, all like even halfway decks to really run through recruit, which like recruit should just be like your really casual play, and Nightmare just being almost out of this world, almost impossible to beat. Like it should have never been at the difficulty that it's at before these. I've yet to play the game with these decreased numbers. I'll be picking the game back up when the new cards come out, and then I'm probably gonna do a Nightmare run. I know a lot of people did it with the infinite money glitch, and there's still the infinite grenade glitch, but I kind of want to see uh, if these changes make it so just like a skilled team has a real shot of just going through it. But in any case, that is the developer update released on Twitter on the Turtle Beach website, which you can read in full there. Turtle Rock Studios website, sorry, their Twitter page. And yep, that's the recent developer update. I hope that helps.